up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're here in sunny California for a moment that not only you have been waiting for, but this guy right here has been waiting for. This is it. This is the all-new, totally redesigned 2022 Subaru WRX. But before we get into that rally tradition, all-wheel drive performance car, let's talk about what's going on here. Subaru. They've been doing the business for so many decades when it comes to that symmetrical all-wheel drive. Now, one thing that has really helped them with development of this technology, of course, is World Rally Racing. Originally, it was all about the Subaru legacies, but then when they switched over to the mighty Impreza platform, we see the true birth of the heritage connected to this vehicle, the WRX, and of course, the STI. Now, this is the 5th generation of the WRX, and believe it or not, we have actually been not so lucky. We didn't get the Subaru WRX until 2002, while everybody else around the world was really enjoying that turbocharged all-wheel drive power. But since 2002, it's been a love affair. Now, with this total redesign, it's sitting on the global architecture platform. So what that means is we have more rigidity to the structure. The vehicle is actually wider, it's longer, and it's got a longer wheelbase, which, remember, the wheelbase is the space between the front wheels and the rear wheels. What that's going to help do is really inspire confidence and stability in the overall driving. Now, with this vehicle, there's a lot of competition in that compact segment. What's interesting is that another main competitor, the Volkswagen GTI, has also received a full redesign. So what I want to find out is it better to go WRX or do you want to go with the new GTI? Let's dive into our World Rally Blue Subaru WRX for 2022 and find out. Right off the bat, there's been a lot of discussion about the styling. Let's break it down, and I think that the more that you see it, the more you're gonna start to understand it. Now, at the front of the business, one thing that's gonna hit you right smack dab in the center are these headlights, much smaller than the previous generation. You'll notice how we have those LED projector beam style headlights. Love the way they did the turn signals, and of course your LED daytime running lamps. Now, as you work your way down, we do have LED fog lamps. One area I am gonna have to zonk is this fake vent design. I wish that they would have kept this smooth, but here's a little fun fact. Do you see this textured surface, which is actually around the whole vehicle? This has actually been shown in wind tunnel testing to increase aerodynamic efficiency. And they showed us a video during the presentation. If I didn't see that video, I would not have believed it, but it really showed extra aerodynamic efficiency. So something to think about as we go around the vehicle, because I know there was a lot of debate, even with my eyes, when I saw all the flat black cladding. But I'm glad that they kept the actual LED fog lamps. That's something that really has been through the whole lineage of WRX models. Now, as we come across the all-new grille, the wonderful news, there's not anything that's been brought over from the previous generation. So we're going to see an all-new grille design, larger grille. I love the gunmetal metallic gray, that iconic Subaru badge. So much history. Of course, fully functional up top. Working your way down below, you're going to have a nice wide, large opening to help bring air to the radiator. And I think it was so smart the way they incorporated a lower lip splitter right into the front fascia. Something you can't see is underneath. There's actually an underneath spoiler to help direct airflow underneath the vehicle. They also expanded some of the coverings to really help with that efficiency. And what's fascinating is that golf ball texture design is even underneath to help create that extra smooth airflow. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you'll notice how the WRX is wider for 2022. And just look at how wide the opening is now for that iconic hood scoop. The best part is it's fully functional, just like before, because of the top-mounted intercooler. It's one of those things that, yes, it has evolved over time, and I would be a liar if I didn't say that I miss the skinnier, narrow hood scoop that was a little bit, or I should say a lot taller, but really glad that they kept this design. And one of my favorite parts is if you look how the body line raises up and then it kind of goes and veers towards the A-pillar. There's this really great design right on the side of the air scoop and the bulge in the hood that, I don't know, there's just something about that attracts my attention there. And I think it really shows that development of this shape throughout the years. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Of course, we have all new wheels and tires. So you're gonna get, this is a limited trim. There's base, there's premium, there's limited, and then there's the top GT. This one is the limited trim, and what you're gonna find on limited is you're getting the 18-inch wheels. Base, you're gonna get a 17-inch wheel. Love the gunmetal gray. Nice, clean design. Nothing too crazy, and I know a lot of people are saying, well, those are gonna be a bear to clean. I think if you get the right brush, you'll be just fine. You're gonna get fully ventilated rotors. Obviously, we don't have any kind of performance brake package option yet. Maybe that'll come in the next couple years, but there's your standard brake caliper setup. Has been pretty effective on these twisty roads out in California, and these are those summer design tires from Dunlop to give you that grip, give you the stick. We got the all-wheel drive. Remember, it's a fixed 50-50 distribution with getting that power to the ground. They retuned all 4 dampers, all 4 corners. And one little tidbit I want to show you, I'm going to have Lori kind of swing around and show on the inside edge of the fender, you have not only up here the airflow, but on this portion, that backside portion there of the front, you have the airflow as well. So we have this is for aerodynamic efficiency, but also down there, look at how they're taking air from underneath the hood and trying to stop that disturbance of airflow over the arches. And like I said, seeing it in person really kind of allows you to understand the overall design a little bit better. I know there was a lot of arm wrestling, a lot of tongue wrestling, a lot of mud wrestling about the unpainted fender flares, but I'm telling you, if you see the video footage of the wind tunnel testing, the video doesn't lie. So just something to think about. You do have color matched on the mirror caps. I like the way they brought in the turn signals. Another thing I really am digging in person is how far the side sill extends down with that aerodynamic flow. And it's one of those things that if you want a GTI, it's a hatch. If you want to still have that 4-door sedan, compact car look and usability, you're gonna be able to get it with the WRX. Coming back, everything is flat black around the window treatment. Right here is another area where they really take that body line off the door to show that flared fender, that classic rally-esque flared fender look. And then another thing that they did for aerodynamic efficiency is the way they taper the rear pillars. So you have your front pillars, your rear pillars, taper that in with the rear glass into our trunk lid. Now, what's interesting is that the trunk lid by itself actually has a little bit of a kick up, but on our limited trim, we do have the addition of this wonderful trunk lid spoiler. Taillights, obviously, another area where there's been some discussion. I do like the way that they use this Magna light up display to make it look like hot lava. Really, really creative. And at night, I think this is really going to show very, very well from the back. There is a large piece of gloss black. I wish they would have made this a little bit thinner, so I am going to have to zonk the gloss black, but I do like the trunk lid spoiler, of course. And then dropping it like it's hot, what do we got? We got our WRX badge. We do have functional vents on the corners here, so there's nothing to zonk on the corner of the rear bumper. You're going to get your quad tip exhaust, which looks spectacular. That diffuser area for channeling that airflow. But you know, that's another discussion. Let me know what you think. Do you think they should have painted this? I don't know. In person, it's growing on me, but something to think about. Put in the comment section. Let's go ahead. Let's pop the hood though. We got symmetrical all-wheel drive. Let's see what's powering our WRX. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. Now, one thing I want to just point out is that the bodywork, like I said, is all new, all body parts. Side fenders are aluminum, which is great to help save weight. But what do we got? Underneath the hood, you have your hydraulic hood struts, no prop rod. You also have that functional hood scoop that's going to feed nice, cool air to that all new in the WRX for the first time, 2.4 liter flat 4 turbocharged engine. So what are we looking at? You're looking at a total of 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, I know there's been a lot of argument over how much horsepower it produces, but something to be aware of is that it actually produces 11 extra horsepower over an Outback XT or a Subaru Legacy XT. And yes, it is 3 horsepower more than the previous model year, but where the big talk is how that power delivery affects the torque and where that driving and how you're gonna feel as you're exiting the corner. And that's how the overall engine is gonna play out in this vehicle. Of course, you still have 6-speed manual transmission, and just so you know, 85% of WRX buyers go with that manual transmission. They also have updated, yes, the CVT automatic. It's now called the Subaru Performance Transmission. They reworked the whole setup, and we will be getting our hands on one of those in the next few months to showcase all the changes that they made. They even added a transmission cooler because of the extra performance that you're gonna get from that Subaru Performance Transmission. But how much does this car weigh? So you're looking around 3,294 pounds, which has been quite respectable with the way that the vehicle has grown in size overall. 0 to 60, if you know how to dance on your twinkle toes, around 5 seconds flat. MPGs, 21 in the city, 27 on the highway. Like I said, we have a new dual pinion electric power steering system that's gonna increase with feedback, feel, and overall drivability. And then what's gonna separate this engine from the others in the lineup is that you're gonna have that electronic control wastegate valve and new valve springs to help with that higher rev that most people are going to be using this vehicle as they go through their daily drives, their favorite twisty roads, or of course an autocross event or a track day. But you know what? Why don't we fire up this WRX and hear what it sounds like? All right, guys, we're inside the all-new 2022 Subaru WRX. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm still not 100% on board with the WRX, but I'm really looking forward to see the car in person and also see more of what it brings to the table. What about pricing? Well, pricing has not officially been unveiled yet, so you're going to have to stay tuned for that. But let's see, comparing it to the Volkswagen GTI, the Cvic Si, even the Elantra N, think about the prices of those vehicles and what they bring to the table. Let's see what the WRX brings. The great news is that you could go base, premium, limited, which is the trim that we have, or the new GT trim. But let's see what you're going to be getting for the money when you go limited to the door panels. I love the clean styling. You have soft touch material up top, a little bit of faux carbon fiber that doesn't look too gaudy. I prefer that over gloss black. And what I really am digging is the soft touch material with the red contrast stitching, nicely brought up in the level of feel, fit, and finish. Door pocket, though, is going to be a zonk. It's on the tight side. So maybe one burrito from Chipotle, no guac, go light on the sour cream, but the good news is you can get a full bottle of Dr. Pepper in there to wash it down. And we have the optional Harman Kardon sound system. That this is stuff that over the years Subaru has been tweaking with their interiors. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, great news. Soft touch material, love the red contrast stitching. With soft touch, we have this nice gunmetal gray finish. Even the way they did the AC vents has a nice upscale feel and look. But the great news is it still looks like a WRX in a very good way. Now, sliding over to the center stack, of course, being brought over from the Legacy, from the Outback, is that 11.6-inch optional infotainment system screen. Now, I know you're saying, well, optional, yes, this is what you get on the Limited. The base is going to have two separate 7-inch screens, one 7-inch for infotainment, 1/7" for the AC controls. We got your navigation. They really have updated and upgraded the Starlink in this system. So, of course, you're going to get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It is pretty quick reacting, nice swipe features. The graphics are great. You could go into car info. You could see what the angle of your WRX is at, also how it's transferring the power. I think one of the things I really like about this system is that you actually have 3 separate screens in one. So up top, you could go through the different readouts. There we are in Santa Rosa, California. And then you could also get those important gauges like water temp and oil temp, especially when you're doing your track day, when you're doing your autocross event. As we work our way down, you do have actual physical knobs, which are great. AC controls are on the bottom portion. And the big news is for heated seats, you actually have 3 separate settings now instead of just the 2. So you do get an upgrade, and as you can see, it's easy to swipe, or you could use the physical buttons if you don't want to touch the screen. So it's a nice balance of a little bit of everything. Let me go ahead and throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera. I just wish that it would take up a little bit more of the screen, and you do have trajectory, which is really great. And then we go right back to where we started. There we are in home. And there we are, navigation. AC vents, everything looking slick. You got your start-stop button over to the side here, easy to get to. Of course, we got connectivity, 12-volt aux jack and 2 USB-As there. Plus, you're gonna have a nice Twinkie tray. Subaru is all about the Twinkies, not only for you, but also for your dog. Easily put 4 Twinkies there, but you can see that level of materials on this WRX has been done really greatly. And then here's where the magic happens. You know how your parents said, listen, knock on the door before you come in our room because that's where the magic happens? This is where you're going to be making the magic happen. Nice, smooth, 6-speed manual transmission. They actually reworked a lot of the internals to make everything smoother, feel more crisp, and really precise. Like you're in 2nd gear, boom, 3rd gear. And like you're seeing here, you don't want to like take a fist and move your shifter. It's a nice palm action kind of thing. Nothing Fast and the Furious, but boy, this is Fast and Furious because of the way that it has such crisp engagement. You could also get the new upgraded CVT called the Subaru Performance Transmission. I like the silver around the shift boot with the red stitching. The great news is if you're picking up a hot date, you got your little Tic Tac tray here. Easily put about 50 Tic Tacs. Good old-fashioned mechanical e-brake. Thank you, Subaru. 2 cup holders. And then armrest is on the soft side, but the problem is it's also on the low side. So it's going to be interesting to see if they have those optional center console armrest raisers. What do we got? You got enough room in here for the wipes. And you know what? This isn't for you. This is actually for your competition when you beat them at your track day. Give them their wipes to clean off the frown that they have on their face after you beat them. Say, hey, turn that frown upside down, kid. Things are going to be okay. You got your key fob, same key fob. Here's something cool. Check it out. We got actual Japanese on the back of the key fob. I have no idea what it says, but that's pretty killer because this car is still produced in Japan. And there's a 12-volt in there. And then new for 2022, we got updated seats. WRX embroidery, the red stitching, the leather with the Alcantara style material. And if you notice, look at the bolstering. Look at even on the bottom portion, hold you in nicely. Here's another little fun fact. You see all the patterns here? The patterns look cool, but all this extra sections actually help with comfort and holding you in. There is an optional Recaro seat. The bad news is it's only available on the GT. Manual adjustment for the passenger. I got a 10-way. Yes, in a Subaru, 10-way adjustable seat on the driver's side. Plus, this being a limited trim, you got your standard size sunroof. Yes, that's the noise. I didn't make it, but the great news is lots of headroom. Even though they lowered the roof line, lots of headroom. Plus, they really went crazy with extra adhesive in here to help bond and make everything rigid. It's also going to give you a quieter cabin. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you the D. I want to show you this D-shaped steering wheel over on the business end. Come on over. Guys, come on in. Let me show you the business end. One of my favorite things about the WRX and the STI is that pedal box. And why they call it a pedal box? Because that's where the pedals are. Aluminum dead pedal, clutch, brake pedal, and throttle. And check it out, heel, toe, down, shifting all day long. You got your power seat controls, easy to get to. Now with the lower lumbar, ooh, that feels good. And then the D-shaped steering wheel, flat bottom with the red stitching all the way around. A little bit of carbon fiber, and the WRX name looks nice, and it's faux carbon fiber, but like I said, I'd rather have that than gloss black. Perfect thickness on the 10 and 2 notches, manual adjustment for your steering, tilting, and telescoping, and then your gauges. You have a small 4-inch digital display, but the great news is you got analog tach, speedometer, fuel gauge, and coolant gauge. Plus there's a gear indicator in that small digital display. Let me know what you think. Are you really wanting a digital display gauge cluster in your WRX? I don't know. I'm very partial to these analog gauges, but why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat, because you know what? What makes the WRX so awesome, besides turbocharged power and all-wheel drive, is being able to share it with your friends. Let's go check it out. Guys, in this new WRX, everywhere you have more room. Now, they did, to give you that sexy sloping roof line at the back, you do lose a little headroom, but everywhere else you're gaining room. Plus, to be honest with you, like I said, 6 feet tall, and I still feel cool as a cucumber back here. Speaking about cool, you got the nice backs to the seats, leather all the way around, good sized pocket, easily put 6 cucumbers in there. I'm on a veggie kick right now. 6 cucumbers in there, possibly an eggplant, but that might be overdoing it. Back of the center console, got a couple dead buttons. It's going to be interesting to see what those are for. I'm going to say probably seat heaters for rear passengers on the GT trim, but look at that. You do have your 2 USBs, which are great. And then, like I said, overall leg room is great. Pull this guy down, wha-bam. Really, really nice. This is going to be perfect for you to enjoy what the captain of your WRX is doing. Hopefully they know how to drive, and you'll have a nice, smooth experience and really exciting experience. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that trunk and see if we could fit all of our track day goodies in that cargo area in the new WRX. All right, guys, before we get into the trunk, I just want to mention that Subaru, since 2002, has sold over 400,000 WRX examples. But let's see, does the versatility, obviously lots of reasons why they sold that many, versatility, usability. Let's see how it continues. Real simple, you hit the button, trunk raises up nicely. You're still gonna get a great wide opening, low cargo floor for those taller objects. The seats will do that 60-40 tango split. You got over 13 cubic feet of space. I know there's a question, is there a spare on this limited trim? We pick up the cargo mat. You do have a nice little nook for about 2 boxes of track day Twinkies, but there is no spare on this limited trim. I know many of you are waiting for those magical words. Let's go on throttle. It's gonna be worth the wait, I promise. Set your clocks, set your alarms, make a sign on your garage door. We will be going full on throttle in this World Rally Blue WRX December 20th at 9 a.m. Eastern time. But until that day comes, if you're ready, I'm ready. We need to hit the road. Let's wrap this one up. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day out here in California with the new WRX. I definitely want to thank the whole Subaru team for allowing us access to this amazing media event to drive this vehicle. Speak of the word drive, I know you want to see us in action. Like I mentioned, tune in December 20th, 9 a.m. Eastern time for a totally separate review on this car to see us road through the 6-speed manual transmission and see how that on-throttle performance really is. But until that day, let me know what you think. Would you go WRX? Would you go new GTI? I'll leave my GTI review at the end of this one so you could really compare them for yourself. I think that seeing is believing, and I can't wait for many of you to see this car in person. But until that day comes, and until the on-throttle fun is brought to us on December 20th, if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click that link in the description. Get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She's the master of the mountains out here in California. Found the perfect spot. I wish I had a level right now to show you because we are not standing on level ground. We're standing on solid ground, but not level ground. Show Lori some love in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for being the muscle and the rock behind the camera. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.